The story begins with a disturbing narration in which a young girl is shown being intimate with corpses. Speaking in riddles, she explains that she does not see death as her enemy, but as her lover, suggesting that death leads to rebirth. These words feel strange and unsettling at first, but the film hints that their meaning will only become clear at the end. The scene then shifts, and we see the same girl, now old. This woman is revealed to be a witch named Solveig. Soon after, we are introduced to Mia, a college student. While playing the piano, Mia receives a call from her father, and the two leave together in their car. Mia is a cancer survivor, which is evident from her short hair. However, radiation from chemotherapy has caused a dangerous tumor to grow in her abdomen. The doctors have lost all hope and believe she doesn't have much time left. With no other option remaining, Mia and her father are traveling to meet Solveig. Mia believes the witch can cure her, even though neither of them truly knows who Solveig is. She contacted Mia directly and summoned her, but Mia never explains to her father how this happened. Throughout the journey, it is Mia who guides them, even though she never looks at a map. Meanwhile, we see Solveig deep in the forest, chanting beside a dead deer covered in flies. On the road, Mia and her father stop at a cafe, where Mia thanks him for believing in her. When he asks again how Solveig contacted her, Mia only says that the woman reached out to her, avoiding further explanation. Later that night, they stop at a hotel. During a quiet conversation, we learn that Mia's mother died years ago, and that Mia still misses her deeply. That night, her father notices something unsettling. The headlights of passing cars form what looks like a face on the mountainside. We are then shown Solveig once again, surrounded by flies. Solveig is known for speaking only in rhymes and riddles. That same night, Mia sees a strange, moving mass on the ceiling above her, which suddenly disappears, possibly hinting at the tumor growing inside her. The next morning, they continue their journey. Mia's father questions how she knows the way without using a map. Mia insists this is her last hope. Though he suspects a scam, he follows her, knowing the doctors have already given up. Eventually, they reach Solveig's house, a wooden structure built from trees and plants, resembling something out of a fairy tale. Deeply connected to the forest, it feels like the home of a true witch. There they finally meet Solveig, and Mia is overjoyed. Solveig takes them inside and shows them their rooms. As soon as they enter, Mia notices a beautiful butterfly resting nearby, but it doesn't move. When she asks if it's alive, Solveig calmly says no. Mia calls it tragic, but Solveig replies cryptically that it is still just as beautiful as it was in life, immediately revealing her unusual view of death. Mia's father makes it clear that he is only there for his daughter. He openly admits that he doesn't believe in rituals or in Solveig herself, and will stay only for the 3 days of the ritual. Solveig responds sharply, telling him that by doubting her, he is also doubting his daughter's faith, and reminds him that death is already growing inside Mia. With that, she walks away. The film then shifts to the past. A pregnant woman comes to Solveig for help during childbirth. Although people feared and hated Solveig, they still came to her when medicine failed. As part of a ritual, Solveig cuts open the woman's stomach with a thorn and removes the baby. The child is stillborn, but the mother survives. Solveig is deeply disturbed by this, as she believes her purpose is to save both life and death together. Back in the present, Solveig leads Mia into the forest. She asks when Mia developed her canker, her word for cancer. Mia explains that she had cancer from a young age, and that the tumor formed during treatment. Solveig compares cancer to a crab, spreading and twisting as it grows. Their conversation then turns unexpectedly gentle as they speak about the ocean. Mia describes its beauty to Solveig, who has never seen it, and quietly thanks her. Solveig places her hand on Mia's stomach. Mia explains that her uterus was removed, meaning she can never become a mother. Solveig calls her fruitless, but immediately follows by calling her a tree, reminding her that worth exists even without bearing fruit. She then places a ring on Mia's finger, a symbol of union. The two circles represent life and death coming together, where one ending leads to a new beginning. To Solveig, death is not an end, but transformation. Later, Mia's father once again dismisses everything as nonsense, but Mia refuses to leave. This is her last hope, and without trying, they will never know the truth. Having already exhausted medical options, her father reluctantly agrees. That evening, Solveig serves them a strange meal of mushrooms, leaves, and a dead butterfly, calling it a gift from the forest. As she recites her blessings, Mia's father says Amen, but Solveig angrily orders him to spit out the word. She doesn't hate God, she hates God's silence. People pray, yet nothing changes. How could Mia's suffering be God's will? Solveig then pricks her hand with the same thorn used in the childbirth ritual, and joins her hand with Mia's, telling them to close their eyes. For a brief moment, Mia glimpses Solveig's hand and notices how unnaturally old it looks, which deeply unsettles her. Finally, Solveig eats the dead butterfly herself and instructs both of them to eat, forcing them to fully participate in the ritual. Now, without building too much suspense, let's clarify Mia's condition. She was suffering from uterine and ovarian cancer, which eventually required her uterus to be removed. Although chemotherapy saved her life, it also caused a dangerous tumor to form in her abdomen. This is why, when Solveig placed her hand on Mia's stomach, she immediately understood that Mia was fruitless, unable to become a mother. The scene then cuts to Solveig standing before a decomposing animal carcass. She smears a black liquid on her face and chants, "1 day to die, 3 days to rise." With this, she flies away, making it clear that Solveig is far more than an ordinary healer. That night, Mia struggles to sleep. Her father, Jake, joins her, and they talk quietly. Mia recalls meeting a woman named Cindy at the chemotherapy clinic. Cindy believed in prayer and promised to pray for Mia, asking her to do the same. Mia explains that she doesn't believe in prayer. She believes in faith. In her view, people pray because they lack faith. Cindy prayed, yet died, while Mia survived. Jake reminds her that survival isn't determined by belief alone. This conversation redefines the film's idea of faith. To Mia, life and death operate on their own terms, unaffected by prayers. If someone is meant to live, they live. If they are meant to die, they die. Still, this doesn't mean Mia has given up. She continues to fight, placing her faith in Solveig and in life itself. Jake tells her that he has faith in her, even if he doesn't believe in Solveig. Later that night, Mia has a disturbing nightmare. She sees a younger Solveig lying with corpses in a tree with a human face bleeding from its trunk. At the same time, we are shown a flashback where villagers gather to bury the stillborn child Solveig once delivered. After the burial, Solveig secretly digs up the child and begins raising it as her own. Back in the present, Solveig takes an egg from a snake's nest, mirroring her earlier act of reclaiming the child. She then returns home and prepares tea for Jake, which he drinks in front of Mia. Soon after, Solveig leads Mia into the forest. Once they leave, Jake falls violently ill, vomiting blood and hallucinating a decomposing woman outside. Meanwhile, Solveig brings Mia to a stone and draws a strange symbol on it before asking her to lie down. She calls Mia's tumor a crab and tells her to sing so it will fall asleep. When Mia hesitates, Solveig sings instead, pouring water from a waterfall onto Mia's stomach. She then breaks a snake egg on Mia's abdomen, releasing a burning liquid that causes intense pain, as if Mia's skin is being burned. After the ritual, Solveig and Mia head back. Jake confronts Solveig, asking what she put in his tea. Solveig replies that she added zip, a form of energy meant to purify him and keep him from interfering. Jake then sees the burns on Mia's stomach and panics, questioning how this could possibly be a cure. Solveig calmly responds that Mia experienced burning during her medical treatment as well. Just like chemotherapy burns the body at a cellular level, this ritual also requires pain and sacrifice. To Solveig, healing always demands loss. Something must be given up for something else to be born. As the ritual continues, Jake tells Mia that something feels off. Wherever Solveig goes, flies swarm around her. This unease leads into another flashback from Solveig's past. We see that she once brought a dead child back to life and raised the child as her own. However, the child's real mother eventually returns with a man who attacks Solveig. The woman then forcefully takes the child away from her Back in the present, Solveig prepares meat for Mia and her father and claims it is deer meat. She gives it to them and leaves without eating any herself. Jake finds this disturbing. He has never seen Solveig eat, and there is no visible stove or water source in the house. This raises even more suspicion. Jake then asks Mia how she even found Solveig in the first place. Mia finally tells him the truth. She didn't find Solveig through any normal means. Solveig appeared to her in dreams and called her there. In other words, their entire journey was guided by dreams. Soon after, we see the decomposing corpse of a woman speaking in a rhythmic chant, describing the primal cycle of life and death. Fire and moon, blood and seed, flesh and bone, all are part of the same process. Creation here is not pure or divine, but raw and violent, where growth and decay exist together. Rivers symbolize the flow of life, vultures represent death, and when the ritual ends, everything falls silent. Birth, decay, and stillness are all parts of the same cycle. Later that night, two teenage couples arrive at Solveig's house and begin throwing stones. Jake tries to stop them, but they mock him. When he warns them that Solveig will be angry, they panic and flee, showing how deeply feared she is. The next day, Solveig enters a cave and commands a snake to crawl into her mouth. The snake fully enters her body, symbolizing the eternal cycle of life and death. This is the third and final day of the ritual. Solveig knocks Jake unconscious, leaving him behind with maggots crawling inside his mouth, while she takes Mia into the forest. On the way, Solveig encounters the same deer she once found dead, now alive. She smiles with genuine happiness, suggesting that she is not driven by cruelty, but by a deep love for life. Solveig then makes Mia sit on a stone, pricks her ear with the same thorn, and forces the snake into Mia's mouth as part of the final ritual. Afterward, they return home, and Jake regains consciousness. When he sees Mia, her condition appears worse. He accuses Solveig of giving false hope and insists that she cannot cure her. Overwhelmed and frustrated, Mia lashes out and tells her father to leave. Left alone, Mia lies in pain, her stomach burning as she begins to hallucinate. Solveig now appears terrifying, and Mia attempts to escape into the forest. Meanwhile, Jake goes to a nearby hotel. When he tells the receptionist that he came to see a healer named Solveig, she reacts with shock. According to her, Solveig was a feared necromancer who could trick death, and people have been placing stones on her grave for years. Jake insists that Solveig is alive, but the receptionist reveals the horrifying truth. Solveig died 2 years ago. The flashbacks we've been seeing were her memories. When the townspeople discovered that she had revived a dead child, they took the child from her and burned it alive. The villagers believed the child was evil, that something unnatural had entered it. After this, they buried Solveig alive, covering her grave with stones so she could never rise again, because they believed she could trick death. This reveals Solveig's deepest desire, motherhood. She brought the child back to life because she wanted to be a mother, something she may never have been able to experience naturally. Back in the present, Jake tells the receptionist that his daughter is still at Solveig's house. Shockingly, she replies that there is no house there. Realizing something is terribly wrong, Jake rushes back to save Mia, while everyone believes that Solveig's spirit has returned and is playing its final trick. Meanwhile, Mia runs through the forest in fear, but Solveig catches her, knocks her unconscious with a thorn, and takes her to her grave. There, Solveig cuts open Mia's stomach and removes what appears to be a fetus, but is actually the tumor, about the size of an apple. This clearly echoes the idea of the forbidden fruit, much like the poisoned apple in Snow White. Solveig is overjoyed and thanks Mia. The tumor then takes the form of a child. Mia appears to die during the ritual. When Jake arrives, he finds her in terrible condition, but moments later, Mia is alive. Her stomach is completely healed, and the wound has vanished. Solveig has cured her. Though Solveig's spirit brought Mia here for her own purpose, she repaid that debt by giving Mia the gift of life. The film then returns to the past, showing the villagers stealing the revived child, burning it alive, stoning Solveig, and burying her beneath rocks. In the present, Mia and her father dig up Solveig's grave to confirm the truth. Beneath the stones, they find Solveig's skeleton holding the skeleton of a child, the child born from Mia's tumor through the ritual. Mia once believed she could never become a mother, yet in a symbolic way she does. At the same time, Solveig's long unfulfilled dream of motherhood is finally completed. Her spirit was unable to rest because her child had been taken from her. Through Mia's powerful will to live, Solveig was able to bring that child into existence once more. With her child finally at peace, Solveig's spirit moves on to the afterlife. In return, Mia is given a second chance at life. In the final scenes, Mia's medical reports confirm that she is completely healthy. No cancer, no tumor. She is overwhelmed with relief. Her faith in the ritual is now stronger than her faith in science, and even Jake begins to believe. And with that, the mother of flies comes to an end. When medicine fails and hope disappears, the film asks whether we are willing to accept something unnatural to survive. Solveig chose Mia because she wanted to live, and through that desire, both of them found peace. So this shows that she had been killed a long time ago, and her body was always rotting like this. It was very dirty, and that's why the film is called Mother of Flies, because Solveig could even trick death. Despite Elle's death, she rose again, and here she was ready to take her soul to peace. And if you noticed, Solveig had no problem with God. She didn't hurt any villagers, nor did she ever practice necromancy against anyone. But the villagers misunderstood her and killed her. And look, the doctor had already told the lady that she wouldn't survive, but the baby would. But when the lady survived, greed arose in her heart. Since the baby was also alive, she wanted her child back. But she didn't keep the child either. The villagers burned the child, believing that there was some evil energy inside the child that Solveig had used to bring it back to life. But Solveig had always wanted to be a mother, and that's why she brought the child back to life and kept it with her. And finally, Solveig obtained the child through magic and found peace for her soul. So I hope you now understand the explanation and the deeper meaning of this film. If you understood the movie and liked the explanation, please like the video. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And I recently explained a very good film, which is The Housemaid film. You'll find the link in the description and pinned comment below. Do check it out. It's a great movie. So I'll see you all in the next video.